bubbling with excitement. The apostles had just returned to Capernaum from their first journey without Jesus. He had sent them out 2 by 2, alone, without him, to give them an experience of what it would be like as they preached and taught in his name. They had trekked through the towns and villages of Galilee, preaching to the people and laying their hands on the sick. Now they returned, and they wanted to tell Jesus of all the things that they had seen and all that they had been able to do. They wanted to tell him about their adventures on the road. But unfortunately, Jesus could not listen for too long. He was at the peak of his popularity, and everywhere he went, people wanted to see him, to hear him, to touch him. He could not have a moment of peace. And so when the apostles came back from their journey and approached him, he knew that they were tired and hungry and needed some quiet time. The apostles themselves were busy with helping Jesus to take care of the crowds. And so Jesus thought it might be time to rest, and he invited the apostles to come with him across the lake so that they could eat in peace and really talk about all that they had happened. And so they got in the boat and went with Jesus across the lake. But by the time they arrived there, the crowds had gotten there before them. And Jesus looked at these people, and in the words, the descriptive words in Mark's gospel, he said, they were like sheep without a shepherd. And so his heart was moved with pity for them. All of these people, all that they wanted to do was to learn about God and his mercy. And Christ, the Good Shepherd, did not disappoint them. He told them about his mercy and about forgiveness and about hope. He showed compassion, especially to those who had demonstrated their faith in him. The blind man cried out, "Lord, that I may see." And Jesus restored his sight. "My son is sick," the Roman officer cried out. And Jesus cured the boy. To the repentant thief on the cross, Jesus promised paradise. The people of Galilee were not saints. They were ordinary people. They were not overly religious. They cheated once in a while. They were uncharitable at times. They were not always chaste and pure. They prayed seldom. Yet Christ, the Good Shepherd, had compassion on them all. What does this say to us? All of this should give us reason for hope, should give us a reason for confidence, because Christ has not changed. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Christ has the same compassion for us as he did for the Galileans of his time. He realizes that we too are like sheep without a shepherd at times. And that descriptive image, even if we live in downtown Syracuse, has meaning for us. We can see what it is like on a hillside as the sheep wander around on their own, one going this way and one going that way, not knowing which way they are to follow. And so Jesus, the Good Shepherd, is the one who pulls us all together and leads us along the right path. Just as he guided the people of Galilee, he guides us. That same wise and compassionate shepherd who walked among the people 2,000 years ago, and just as surely walks among us today. Not in the same way, but just as really. He returns to our altars whenever Mass is celebrated. He feeds us with the bread from heaven, just as he fed the crowd that sat and listened to him that afternoon by the lakeside. From Monday to Saturday, it's easy for us to feel lost in a crowd. The voices around us can seem a frightening babble of confusion. But Sunday Mass gives us a chance to get our bearings, to realize that we are not alone, but that we belong to a vast worldwide church, a flock, if you will. And in thousands of churches throughout the world, we pray for one another and for all the wandering sheep of the Lord. Guided by our shepherd, listening carefully to his word, being nourished with his body and blood, moves all of us together toward our eternal home.